Okay, stop me if you've heard this. Socialism is when you have two cows, you give one to your neighbor. Communism is when you have two cows, you give both to the government and they may or may not give you some milk. Capitalism is when you have two cows, you sell one and you buy a bull. Hello and welcome to the Sonia Schmidt Show. I am Sonia Schmidt and I just love that little illustration. There's one that I didn't put in though, and it's Nazism, and that's when you have two cows and the government shoots you and takes both of them. Think of that when you're voting for Bernie Sanders. I love those illustrations, like I said, and thank you, Sue Hartman, for posting those. I got those off of her Facebook page. You know what? Facebook page is wonderful for stuff. But you know, and you good and well know that they're censoring us. So hopefully you will steer away from that and you will go to and support conservative websites where we are not censored, we are not banned, we are not shadow banned. You got to make a change and go to those places. One of which is The Range, where I am every Sunday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Coast Time. Okay, that ends my lecture about not supporting people who ain't supporting you. Let me get back to my illustrations. Nazism, capitalism, socialism, communism. Our country is facing all those things now, and we're at the brink of deciding which way we're going to go. The beauty of the illustration of capitalism is that you're going to buy a bull and you have a cow left, so that means they're going to bow chicka wow wow, which means reproduction the way it's supposed to be. The problem with the left is they would even take that illustration and mess it up. They would say the bull would have some sort of gender fluidity and wouldn't know what he was, so eventually he wouldn't be able to procreate with the cow, and then it would all get messed up and we'd never have any hamburgers, which would of course be fine with them. It's absolutely never ending with them. You know what? I live in California, and I think I'd be perfectly happy to give them some of California. They could even have the beach part of it. I don't care. My only stipulation is they don't get our police department. They don't get our military. Whatever happens to them, they have to deal with it on their own. Problem is they can't. And the minute they need help, they would be crying unfair so loud and so nasty that we couldn't stand it. And we'd probably pitch in and help them, which I don't suggest, but out of the goodness of our hearts, we probably would. And this brings me to tonight's topic, Democrats. Why are they so nasty? I mean, what is it, a requirement? Especially with the women. Do they really think we wanted to be lectured to, shouted at by some angry, loudmouth feminist in a pantsuit? No, the other one. Yikes. And here's the thing. The more Trump wins, the nastier you get. It's not going to work. Democrats, read to the end of the story, folks. Evil doesn't win. FYI, Democrat Party, you're not going to die a natural death. You're just going to nasty away. And while they were busy telling us that America should be a happy place, nothing of the past is good because it was created by old white men. Israel is the problem. Who do they go out in droves and bring in? A Jewish old white guy. I can't keep up with the left, and I suggest you don't try either. And if you ask them to clarify their double standards, their hypocrisy, you know what you're going to get? A big, giant can of nasty. Which brings me to my guest for tonight. Although he's not nasty, he's not angry, he's not Jewish, he is white, though, if that counts for something. And he's the author of a book called The Ramblings of a Right-Wing Bible-Thumping White Guy, which proves my point. He's also the host of the Real Side radio show. He's an old friend of mine and a mentor, and he's deeply embroiled in something that's nationwide news, definitely statewide news if you live in California. Here he comes, Joe Messina. All right, let me make sure this is this? Yeah, it's recording.
Is it? Last time it did.
All right. Okay. Since you stalled me, I'm going to stop this and listen and make sure it's cool. So keep talking. Say something. Say something interesting.
Wait a minute. How am I supposed to take that? I'll have news for you, young lady. Everything I say is interesting. Just ask me, I'll tell you.
You know what? Don't avoid the subject. You were deeply embroiled, and I talked about this before I'm bringing you on, in this Katie Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you explain to the audience how you got entrapped in this?
You know,
And
at this point, I think it's a sin.